Hi, my name is Lana, and this is a short presentation of my first ever full stack app. The general idea of this app is to allow the users to verify whether an individual or a company is a sanctioned party, or for individuals particularly, it's to also verify if they're wanted by FBI or Interpol. I use 3 third-party APIs in this project. Interpol Notices API, which allows to check Interpol's public database, and specifically the Red Notices and United Nations Notices. FBI's public API, which I use to check if the individual is wanted by FBI. And last but not least, Office of Financial Assets Control API, which is used to verify if the individual is appearing in any of their sanctioned programs. So we're currently looking at the About Us page, but let's try to create an account. I have this login button, which takes me to the login page, but I can also click on sign up here and try to sign up. I have a reset button, which resets the form if I made a mistake. But let's try to actually create some sort of user. So I have also the checkbox, which allows me to see the password. Sign up. And let's log in. Okay, so once logged in, I'm taken to the screen page where I can pick what I'm searching for, an individual or an entity. For entity, it's not currently active. I can't actually do it because I'm still working on this part of the project. So we're gonna have to search for an individual. I can pick a database, or I can just search in all of the databases. So let's look for a person that I know is gonna, as a matter of fact, appear in all of them. Let's just pick United States. Search. And yeah, this is the screening result. We have the screening parameters entered here, and then we have the results of the search coming from each of the databases. So here's the FBI result with the details of what this person has done wrong. We can select if this is a match or clear selection if we decide it's not a match. We have then Interpol and a match here. Let's just say this is not a match because this is a longer name, and then we also see that there is a match in OFAC as well. We can also learn more by clicking on this button and see a popover of what, this is just a description of what SDN is. So once we select, we can save. We can see that your selection was saved. We can go to the search history and we can see that these are the saved results. In the history, we can then click on the view source and again see the details of our search from before, but only for this individual and only in this database. We can also edit by putting some comments here. Once we click save, this is saved to our database. So if I reload, it's still going to be here. And then if I want to delete it, I can just edit it again and it's still saved. So let's try again and search for maybe somebody else. I'm still going to do the search all just because it provides more results. Again, I'm going to look for somebody who's going to have at least one match and search. And here is the result for the Interpol, but we see that FBI and OFAC, there are actually no positive or potentially positive matches there. So we click on select, save, again saved, go to search history, and here now we see both the results of our searches, which provided no matches, We can delete them if we want, or we can keep them if we want to just know what we searched for record keeping purposes, let's say. And there was also pagination, as you saw. So that's the search functionality for the user. We can also go to the profile, we can see the account details. We can click here, provide the password, which we currently have. And then we can, let's say we wanted to change the first name and the last name and the password, so we can do that, update, and now we see that this was changed. We can again put our new password here, next, and if we feel like deleting our account, we can click on delete account. It's going to ask us if we are sure that we want to delete our account. Yes, we are. So now our account is deleted and we're back to the home page. So this is all the functionality for now. I'm still working on it. So hopefully I'm gonna add more to it soon. Thank you all for watching.
All right, so I took the PokeDex that we built and I added a battle simulator to it and the user authentication as well. And then the post is pulling from a second API. I'll show that in a bit. I can start with the code. Basically, I separated my login, my user stuff in a separate components folder. I created a post page, and this pulls the API for a random Chuck Norris joke. And then my battle page, once I choose a Pokemon, I can send it to battle, and then it will randomly generate a second Pokemon for it to battle. And then I wish I could move that bar. Everything else is kind of the same. I did have to refactor a lot and change it from assessment 4. It probably would have been better just to restart completely. And let me give you a little example. All right, so at the home page, you can choose your Pokemon. You can add it to your team or release it from the team. And then I have my post page, which generates that Chuck Norris joke. Once at a college frat party, Chuck Norris, I don't even know what that means. A gainer in tuck position for a chandelier into a punch bowl. Fascinating. Then you can get a new joke. And then my battle page. This was fun. Still has a lot of work, but I can send my Pokemon to battle, generates a random Pokemon, and then you fight. And I want to add to where it's just the sprite and then have your attacks under that and a health bar, and then have the Pokemon like jitter whenever they're fighting. And then I would like to have like the Pokemon music playing in the background, but I wasn't able to figure that out. And then once you get them down, it says Charizard wins. And then you can also search for a Pokemon and send that Pokemon to battle as well. And then my user sign up. Next one, Gmail and password. Sign up. login and password. And I want to eventually have it say like welcome user, and then of course make these pages look a lot prettier. But yeah, like I said, I do plan to add that stuff to my battle page. I also want to add a profile page so that you can see your team whenever you're logged in. Down here, you can see my users that were created. And yeah. So the battle Pokemon does pull from my Poke API still. And then the Chuck Norris joke. Yeah, that's about it. Any questions?
Yeah, once a user signs in, is there any feature that's particular to a user signing up? Like, for example, can a user catch their own Pokemon and then that gets saved to that user page?
No, not yet. That is the plan to add so that in my profile page, it can display like a history of what their teams are, or have a history of maybe what users can log in or already signed up.
Okay, perfect. So from a grading standpoint, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me stop the recording.
All right, so this is my presentation on the scheduler for volunteering for the Lard's Diner. To start with, got the log out, register. Alex. News. Log in. One. And I'm currently not signed up for anything, but if someone was signed up, it'd show up here. And then, but this is for your personal selections. And then if you go to select date, you can find your friends that have signed up and if they're bringing any guests. And so I'm going to bring 2 guests with me. Volunteer registered successfully. The first API call is the weather. So Lord's Diner volunteering there would be in side a building. But if this were to build out further, if you go into like a Habitat Humanity volunteer thing, it'd be nice to know the weather. And currently it only displays the current weather. The idea would be to have like a 7-day forecast for that kind of a thing. And then, okay, so I'm registered, and now you can see I'm registered for the 5th. And the second API call is sending an email to their phone. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this, but yeah, it's got because it's not coming from Gmail, but it says you are now registered.
Yeah, we were able to see it just for your essay. That's not going to be on the video though, because we're not recording faces, but we were able to see the email come into your phone.
Oh, okay, cool. And then the 5th, if you want to unregister, volunteer deleted, back to that, and you're no longer signed up, and you can log out. That's it.
That's great. Are you using a specific library to be able to send emails to yourself?
That would be let's see if I can pull this over.
Is it Mail.js by any chance?
No, it's what's the change? What is it? Something grid.
and it's all right. If
Oh, it's a SendGrid API.
oh,
SendGrid API.
is there any future features that you're going to add to your project?
To build off this, yeah, I mean, the part that I'd like to build off of this into the group project would be like admin side. So organizations get admin authority, and then they can create their events, adding like time selections, you know, continuing to update that weather thing for events that only pertain to outside activities. So you're not pinging that API more than you need to. And then just better user functions, because right now it's just very basic.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. That was great.
All right, so I made like a film tracker app. Like if you know what LetterBoxd is, I basically did that to track what you've seen, movies that you want to add to a watch list, and just make custom watch lists. This is the homepage. It lists the IMDb's like top 250 movies. My other API I used was for show times, will show movie theater information. So for this movie theater that's showing, shows like the dates and then the start and end times. For login, you go up here. You can either log in if you don't have an account, you can sign up. So just make an account. Make it old. Sign up and then you can log in. When you hit log in, you can see we'll take you back to the home page, but then up here in the menu bar, your username will be displayed, which you go to, that's kind of like your main page. Any movies you add will be added to your watch list. If you want to make any lists, create lists, and any reviews you write will populate here. Next, if you go to the search bar, you can search for any movie you want. So if you want to look for Mario Brothers movie, we'll search, populate. Let's go to this one since everyone's talking about it. Give you some of the details about the movie, the runtime, rating, director. You can see other users' reviews. You can add to your watch list. You can add it to another list. And we haven't seen this movie, but if you want to write it, you can. It'll populate there. And then if you were to go back to your user account, we'll list that and your watch list, any list you have, and then any reviews will populate there. You can edit. You can remove and delete, and then you can also remove from your watch list. And then, yeah, you can log out. And that's everything.
All right, this is awesome. Yeah, this is great. If you were able to restart this project all over again, is there anything you would have done differently?
Two things. I would find
I think you cut off. Or is it me that's cut off?
Nope, it was him.
All right.
Okay, this is my personal project, and then the personal project name is IdealFilm app. About is IdealFilm Finder, is an app designed to help users to discover their favorite movie, dramas, and animations. After you log in, user can choose a category, and the app will present two random options with that category. User must select the one they prefer, and the process continues as user make their selections. The app narrow down their preferences and ultimately retrieve reveals their top choice in the chosen category. So this is my website, and so I use two API. First one is TMDB, I think, to grab these data, pictures. There's an anime and there's a TV shows and there's a movie data I could grab from there. And then I use the other one is a YouTube API that I could return the trailer. So these are top 5 animes by ratings. And there's a top 5 TV shows and there's top 5 movies by ratings. And so there's a login page. Sign up for emails 123@gmail.com. Password 123. Sign up. So because this user already signed up, so the email is already registered, so I could just use this one. So 123@gmail.com. Password 123. Login. So there is this, you have a successfully logged in and welcome 123@gmail.com. And I could also log out. I could go back to this home page by clicking the home button. Also the user page. My user page is my favorite movies and my favorite TV shows and my favorite animes list. And then I could click this home button to go back to movie page 2. Drama page also working for clicking the home page and go back to the home page. And in the movie page, it's gonna randomly just generate 2 random movies. Every time I go to the movie page, it's gonna randomly generate 2 movies. And then I could, if I never seen these 2 movies, I could click this skip button to just jump. So it's gonna generate 2 new movies and keep going. So again, bad guys. I could, if you're interested about these bad guys, I could click these details to see the details. So in the detail page, there's a pictures and there is a name and there is a intro. There's rating, release date, runtime, and main actors. And there's a trailer. This trailer, I use a YouTube API to return. And go back. And I could use this select button to choose which one I like. I could choose select. And if I select 5 times, it's gonna render me to this user page and then add this movie to my favorite movie page, my favorite movie list, and go back to my movie. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter how many times I click, it's just a matter of the fifth clicks. So I click this 4 times and 5th click, I click this. It's gonna send this movie to my favorite movies. So I could click these 2 times and click these 1 time, or like only matters of 5th clicks, and this movie is going to add it to my favorite movie list. And then I could also delete them. Also, same thing for the drama details, trailer, and go back, hit select, add it to my TV shows. Anime, same thing, the detail page. There is actors and trailers. Go back, and skip, Naruto, select. So Naruto now is in my favorite anime list. So yeah, that is all the functionalities. And so the features I want to add on is, I want to add on in the user page, I want to add on the review comments. So the comments will be rendered on these top of the movies or top of the drama or top of the animes like a bully chat. So users can have more interactive. And I also want to add the watch list. So details, if you haven't seen these movies, you could go check out the detail page and then see the trailer. And if you want to watch this movie, you could I could add a little the add button and then render you to the user page, and then also have the movies that you want to watch, and the movies that you want to, the TV show that you want to watch, the animes that want to watch, and make a list like that, like this. And the other feature that I want to make is now is just return the ratings by top anime, TV show, and movie, but I want to return these by most clicks. So if users click this anime has the most click by users, and it's gonna return these. So these gonna be changed, not like just constantly stay like this. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's great. Yeah, this is an awesome project. I'm excited to see it. Does anyone have any questions? All right.
All right, so this is Tango Fitness. This is a workout login record app. So I'll start out here just signing up. Sign up here, and then I will log in with test@gmail.com. And then later on, it will show that the rest of my pages are tied to this login too. So just a simple homepage explaining what it is. So here we can search for exercises. So you could search by name, search by specific muscle or muscle group here. So you can just do barbell, and then we'll populate with the search results for these workouts. So I can do barbell bench press. Takes you to the exercise page, shows a GIF of how to perform the exercise, and then the area and the muscles worked and the equipment needed. So now I can add to log, and then I'll just go back to the search page real quick and add something else too. So we'll do barbell hack squat. Same thing here. We will add to log and go over to my log page. So now we have this barbell bench press and barbell hack squat added to the log. I'm going to enter this form here for the log, and then just do 5 sets of 100, 5 to 10, 3, 50, 2 to 5. And then you can also go back to view the exercise from the log page, and then back here. So submitting this log, it submits the log to the backend, and now in your history page, second, sorry about that. Not sure why that didn't work there. Let's see.
I think it was asking for a workout name before you clicked on log.
Oh, it did? Okay. Here, I don't think it signed me in actually. Here, I'll go to. Okay, so I think that logged me in here. And then if I go to the history of this user here. Okay, now I'm logged in as dale@gmail.com. So I have a history of these workouts here. And I can search chest, add. I'm just going to redo a quick thing to show that it will post to the back end. Push 1, 04. 5 to 10. Submit log. And then here we have this this push day on 010423, and I can view this workout. And it takes me to the record of this workout, which I just did the lever chest press for 5 sets here and here. And let's see. So that's it for the workout portion. And then for my second API, I just have a sorry, one sec. Swear this was just working last night. Yeah, so it looks like that's, I'm not sure what's going on with that right now. But yeah, I guess that is my presentation. Any questions?
Yeah, I do have a question. Actually, when it comes to this application, you know, I try to stay somewhat in shape myself, and I found something that could be really useful would be to get maybe like a daily reminder of what my goals are or anything like that. Do you plan to add any type of features to this application to where it would do something like that?
Well, I didn't have that exact idea, but I do really like that. My future plans with it were to kind of conditionally render this sign up and login page. If a user was logged in already, then it would just, or wasn't logged in, then it would take you to this login sign up page. And then once you logged in, it would take you to the actual, to the website. And then how this, this log works here. I kind of wanted, instead of having 3 sets of 100 here, I wanted to kind of break down each set more in case the weight between the sets varied, and then each set's reps. I just had a little bit of trouble figuring that out with my models at first, but I think if I went back to it, I could probably get that working. And then the last thing is this the recipe page. Well, if I could get it to work, it would be that I just wanted a nutrition section to where I could log like calories tracked and macros and stuff tracked too on this.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions? All right.
Hi, I'm Nick. This is my full stack project. I'm doing a washer toss. It's a yard game. I don't think a lot of people know about it, but you like throw like metal discs in a box and like it's fun. But it's to keep track of like all of the games that like me and my friends play and stuff like that, because I want to use this like actually use it. So let's start with like the sign in and sign up. Like right now you can't click on anything, it just makes you sign in or sign up. So let's sign up with someone new, like Bobby. Email.com, password. So when you sign up, it takes you back, takes you to the sign-in page. So what we just made Bobby, let's sign him in. Let's see. So this is like technically the home page. This is where like after you get a game done, you would input like all these like all this information. So up here you have weather. This is where my APIs come in. One of my APIs is like a weather API, and I'm just using the temperature and the wind speed. The wind speed is very important because it changes the game, and we like to look at that. And my second API is a like geolocation, so it gets the chords and puts it in the weather API to like get the proper wind speed and temp. So let's say we did a game, and let's just put two winners. There's a 2v2 game and two losers. And you would enter the losing score. Let's just do like 16. There's no winning score because the winning score is always going to be 21. That's if you hit 21, you win. And I made it so you can adjust the wind speed just in case, but like it automatically pulls from like whenever you refresh this. So it's automatically gonna put it down there. So if we submit it, takes us to the games tab over here. You can go back and forth over here, but it gives you the day and like all the information you need. And if you like messed up or something like that, you can go edit it and stuff like that. So let's say like they got 1 point, they didn't do too good. You submit it, saves it, and also added delete. So like if you like want to delete it, you can. And you can see up here, you can see like who's logged in. This is hello Bobby. And let's see. And you notice right there, it takes like a couple seconds to get this information. It's only like 3 seconds. It's not too bad. Let me check. We can do the sign out. So if you hit sign out, you can also notice like you can see sign in now and sign up. You don't see sign out sign out anymore. Let's sign in. Let's do Max. I think it's uppercase. There you go. Yep, there you go. Now you see hello Max, and you don't see sign in or sign out. I mean sign up or sign in. You only see sign out. And I think that would be it for my project.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Does anyone
No
have
problem.
questions?
Did you use a hash router instead of a browser router for this?
Yes, I use hash router.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is true. I remember reading that for like using a loader, it has to be a browser router. Is that correct, Francisco? Do you remember?
No, that's not correct.
Not correct. Okay.
Yeah, if you use the create router API, the way Ben taught it, you could use a loader with hash router as well.
Gotcha. Never mind then.
I ended up looking into that during my project, and yeah, as long as you're loading that create whatever kind of router and not just whatever kind of router, then it's considered a data router, and you can use loaders.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just thinking like the way maybe to like get your weather to show up at the same time as the form would be to have like a loader pull it and only render the whole form once you have the data.
Yeah, like when I was making it, like because like if you're like just open it up and you putting names in, like the wind speed's gonna be there before you get down there anyway. So I didn't really think about it, but like I want to make this better, so I'm gonna try to put that in my project later on.
Have you tried using this with your friends yet?
No, like they're very they have high standards, so
All right. Thanks. That's all for me.
All right. Does anybody else have a question? Okay.
So my project is a memory book. If you guys are parents, like especially mom normally want to keep the memory of their child since birth or like every memory they for the of the first year, but it's normally a physical book, so I make this just to replace that physical book. So here I get a sign in and sign up. So if I sign in, it can be like new tweet, sign up. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, it makes too many new. Then I can sign up with that. And after you sign in, you will see the navbar differently with like gel where you can add more gel and more function. Also, here's my 2 API, which will get you the idea of baby name. You can use the gender. And this is just to get the quote of the day. So it's only make 1 quote a day. Just to give you guys a more example, I will log out. Oops. Oh, sorry. Oh no. Oh yeah. So this, I already make more example. So for example, I have a few gels. So each gel will have their own album. For Jaden, I can make like a few album or add new album for him. And when I click that album, there will be like a lot of entries that I already make with caption, date, like this. I can go back to the album to see the different one. Back to album or back to the gel list. Go to a different gel. See more. Like this is a very typical milestone photo that all the moms take. I can delete the entry. I haven't figured out how for it to render, but when I back to the same one, that entry will be gone. So it's supposed to upload right away, but I haven't figured out how to do that. But if I delete and go to that one, yeah, now there's only 4 entries. And this is how you make a new entry. Then you save. Oh no. It's weird.
Maybe a refresh.
It works before, just like that. Yeah, I actually changed. I didn't have the pop up the model before, so I changed this morning and it works. Must be something I messed up recently. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this work. For some reason, the previous one doesn't work. I just saw it. After I save the new entry, it doesn't render right away, but I have to go out and then go back to that same album again to make it work. I still need to think to add a lot of feature. For example, I want to like add a favorite function so that in my home they will have like all the favorite photos. And that's it. Yeah, that's all I get so far.
Yeah, this looks great. Does anybody have any questions? It's awesome. What are some of the newer features that you're planning on adding to this project later on?
I want to edit all of these, add the favorite. Also, like I want to like be able to click on it and see more detail. Also, like add not just photo but video, because video is more fun.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so for my project, I created a clone website called GamesForFree, which is a clone website to free-to games. So free-to games is a website or platform that offers games that are available to play for free. So this is the original website. As you can see, you can hover over the picture of the games. Once you click it, you can, if you click the play game now, it will redirect to the third-party actual website to play the game. And then you can actually like add it to your favorite game list. And this is my website. As you can see, it's pretty similar. So from the login functionality, I can sign in, and once I click the game, I can see the more details of the game. I can give the rating as well. I can undo my rating. Oh. Okay. And then I can leave a comments as well. And then I can add to my my favorite game list. Play later, and if you see, this is my game list, and here also you can change your game status as well. Play later, kind of playing. You can delete it as well, and then you can also search by name. Naruto. And then here another functionality is you can you can filter by platform or genre or categories, or you can also sort by popularity alphabetical orders. So here, if you click I don't know, browsers, then it only shows the browser. And if you want to see the games that have like shooter related, you click shooters. Right now it's only showing like browser and shooters. And if you want to sort by some orders, then you can do it by so click it. So if you click it, it will sort by alphabetical order as well. And it's a little cute thing. That's it. That's pretty much my website or my project.
Yeah, this looks awesome. Yeah, this is great. Does anybody have any questions? Did you use both React and Django, or?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Yes, I use a React and Django, and I had a lot of problems like connecting each other because I did not use the Chrome browser. I used the Opera browser. And then every time I try to do something, there's like disconnect between React and Django, and so I had to figure out how to fix that.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. Awesome.
Thank you.
This is my website. Is this website is, my idea is to helping people to manage their trips. So first you need to log in, and if you don't do anything, it will give you the alert, and you need to sign up first. And I will sign up my name here. And after you sign up, it will send you back to the login page. And after you log in, it will send you back to the home page and also will show my name here. And after that, you can start to explore, or first you want to create your new trips. And for example, if I want to go to New York, I will do New York and put the date and then create. And after that, it will show here. And when you have the New York, you can go to detail. When you go to detail, it will show you the New York here and the date and the end date. And also you can add restaurant and hotel and notes here. Right now, if you don't have any idea about the restaurant and the hotel, you can go to the search page. And I use two APIs here. One is the Google Map API. The other one is Travel Advisor. And it's all this side is all from that. And you can choose the tab if you want to look restaurant. It's all show your restaurant here, and the restaurant show the name here and the price if they have price. See, this one have prices will show you, and the ranking here and the address. If they have website, you can click it and go to. I don't think. Yeah, this one have. You can go to their website to check it, and then come back. And also I have another thing, if you want to, like we want to go to New York, and I use a Google Auto Complete, I forget how to call it, and you can type here to choose New York. It will change to go to New York here, and all the restaurant here, and then you can change the tab to hotel. I don't know why, I need to be lucky enough the hotel will show me. Sometimes I need to change. I don't know why sometimes it won't show me, maybe change. This morning when I tap Boston, it's giving me the hotels. Yes, I don't know why. Here and the same thing, it's just like the restaurant. Oh, it's disappeared again. And then you can, right now, if you have the idea, you can go back to your tree and then go to the detail and add the restaurant, maybe the name and the address and the phone number. Why I list these three things here? Because for me, I always feel if you know the name, when you want to go to this restaurant, you can use the address to navigate to there. And also if you have some question or want to make reservation, you can have the phone number here. When you add here, just like a note to put it here for you. And the same thing like the hotel, and you put the check-in date, check-out date. If you book, here is if you don't want it anymore, you can just delete it. And also if you want to add the notes, maybe for New York, you can see I love here, and maybe that is my note, and then save it, it will pop here. And I think that's all. Also, if you are done, you can go to log out page. It will ask you if you want to log out. You say yes, and then there's know your name. And when you go to the trip, there's no data anymore. That's all.
Yeah, that's really well constructed. I really like it. How did you like interacting with the Google Maps API? Was it very challenging for you? Is there any other?
Yes, I spent almost a whole week to figure it out.
The Google APIs are a little bit challenging.
Yeah, and the other one, the travel advisor, and actually I hate this morning before the presentation, I try to test again. I hate the limit. Right now, they start to charge me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is there any future features that you want to apply to this project?
Yes, because see, right now because my idea, I want to make everything easy for the users. Right now, see, if I go to my trips, I need to how to see, like to tap everything here and go to the detail. But in the future, I just search anything if I like, I just add a button here and then it will can add to my details. Every time I go to that trip, I don't just see the date there and only name, and also have the picture and everything I can check here, go to website. And also for my hotel, I want to add the same thing also. I can add a functionality, they can just book through my app. They don't need to go to another website to book the hotel. It can use my website to book the hotel for them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And that would definitely increase the user interface in your application. That's great. Awesome. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions?
Thank
you. Oh, okay.
This is my borderline inappropriate named app called Tinder Tots. It is to help me and my wife come up with a name for our baby that's due in a few months. So we'll start with registering some users. So let's say Francisco is having a baby. And let's say your other parent is Nick. All right, so now if we log you in, okay, sometimes this happens. And why did it happen this time? Okay, it registered Nick, but not you. That's there we go. So that works. So when you first log in, you can't do anything because it takes two people. And that's really one of the most challenging things about this project is everything has to be done between two people. So it'll ask you to enter the email of your partner. So in this case, and then choose if you're having a boy or a girl. So you guys are gonna have a boy, and so you'll invite them. And if we log out and then go and log into Nick's profile, oh, come on. Let's spell it right. Well, let's try and invite you to log this out because I logged in. Sorry, up on the screen I have the admin page up to figure out why it didn't register you earlier, so I logged out. boy. Why?
You may have to log out from the admin page.
Every time I log in here, it automatically logs me out from it. This was literally just working an hour ago.
Yeah, maybe try crashing your server, both on the front end and back end side, and then try to re-render it.
To your session. Okay, so I just invited Nick to your session here. And so if we log out, then go to here. Now say that you've been invited to a session by you. So if you reject it, it will obviously reject it, but then it'll also because it assigned a session ID to you. So it'll remove that from yours so you can try it again. In this case, we'll accept it. And then now you can see this is the same session ID number as what was in your profile. And so first part of this is you go and get an error that is quickly resolved with a refresh that I haven't figured out yet. And so then it'll present you a name and associated nicknames. So you can see what your kid could eventually get made fun of for in school. And then you either like or dislike it. And so this is pulling from, the nicknames are pulling from an API website called Behind the Name. And so just go through, right now I only have a small test database in there. The other database that I have has like 30,000 names. So I didn't want to play around with that when I'm just testing things. So we'll just like and dislike some stuff. And you've reached the end. So then if I go back here, now you can see I've disliked these names and liked these names. And this is as Nick. So if I log out, and you can see on the login page, it loads a different dad joke every time you refresh, which I won't say how much time I spent just refreshing the page and reading the dad jokes. So if we log in as Francisco again, now you can see you don't have any liked or disliked names, but you're in the same session. You can see your other parents and the gender of the names you're getting. So now if you go here and start liking, so you've reached the end. Now you go back to your profile and you can see these are your dislikes and likes. And now you can see you've matched on 4 names that you both liked. Now let's say that you've been thinking on your own time of names and you didn't come across them in the database because there's 15,000 or so for each gender. And you don't want to go through all 15,000 to get the name you want. So you could put in the name that you know you really like, and submit it, and then see it show up here as manually added, and that you liked it. And so now if I go back to Nick's profile, you can see Danazor was manually added, but it's not in my agreed, liked, or disliked. However, if I do go and start
秋
swiping-
达，好了，妈妈的
hot mic. So if you start looking at names again, each time you load the names, it's only going to load ones that you haven't seen before. And so since this was manually added, you haven't seen it to like or dislike it. So now I can like it, and it'll show up as an agreed name since we both liked it. So additional functionality that I didn't quite get a chance to add would be to take these agreed names and then kind of like what Steve had on his movie like versus page where you like or dislike a movie to create a favorite. I want to do that with each of the combinations of these names to add a weight score to them. You do that on this ranker page, which you can see the functionality works very well. Yeah, so I didn't quite have the time to get to that, I'm afraid. But that's for the group projects, I hope. Anyway, that's more or less it. So you saw registering, logging in, logging out. Each time you add a name, it actually creates a new entry into the name database if it's not already existing in the database. If it is, then it just updates it. And then each time you load your names, each time we go here, it only loads the ones that you haven't seen. So any questions or things you want to see?
Yeah, this was great. I do have a question. I know in the curriculum itself, we don't teach very far in detail about session IDs and how you can utilize those to connect to different users. How did you go about doing that, and what was your experience doing that?
So it's kind of, I initially put some thought into how I wanted to design this thing, and so my database schema, I knew I was going to need a session name, like kind of joint table or joining table to put people together. And so to create the session ID itself, I just took the ID, like the primary key ID of each user profile, and concatenated them. So that way it would always be unique between two different users because each user profile is unique.
I see. So it's your own self-created session
Yeah.
ID.
I know there's ways to do it like more fancy and sophisticated, but I'm neither fancy nor sophisticated. So
no, this is fantastic. That's awesome. I mean, you identified a problem and came up with a way to solve the problem, and that's all we need, right? Yeah, this is great. I really like it. It's simple and advanced in its own way. I like it. I wish this would have been around when I was waiting for a child rather than waiting for Dan to be my makeshift child with Nick. Does anybody else? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, does anyone else have any questions? Okay, awesome. Did you want to say something, Dave, before I stop the recording?
Oh, yeah. Chase asked me earlier if I was using an API to get the baby names. I do have an API that I can pull baby names from API Ninjas, but you can only do 10 names at a time, and you can't control like if it's names that you've seen or not before. So I ended up downloading from the Social Security Administration. They publish a list each year of all the baby names that were registered in the US that year. and then how many times they were. So it gives you like a popularity score. And so that has like, I was just pulling from 2021 and it had like 30,000+ names on it. So I just pulled some of those for testing, and then I'll ingest that into the database when it's all ready and functioning properly. But yeah, it was just easier to control that way to make sure that you don't repeat names and stuff.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yep.
So initially I was going to do a Mars weather app, but after about a week into the project, I realized that the lander that monitors the weather on Mars, it's pretty much been disturbed by the environment, and they've discontinued the API. And it's currently being monitored by the Curiosity rover right here. And that is successful, but it hasn't been open to the public yet. So I pretty much had to restart my entire application like a weekend. Pretty big drawback. I wish I would have done a little bit more research and to make sure that the APIs are actually functional. And this is what I have. This is what I have. Pretty much making a space app that you can monitor all the conditions of space. And I want to make it so that you could maybe like in the future where travel in space becomes available to a common person. You could use this app to find the routes and the weather and the conditions and all that jazz. So first API I'm using is the NASA Image of the Day. It's a pretty much new one every day. And I made it so you could add it to favorites when you're signed in. And you can also find more images by clicking the link. These are all the previous images that NASA has published. And then, so let's just sign up for right now. Success. Yeah, put up the password. Awesome. And now, say we like this image, add it to your favorites. It sends a request to your SQL database where you can retrieve it in the favorites tab. Also, this button doesn't work just yet. I'm trying to figure out how to make the delete work for just the picture. And then the API I used was to find solar flares. Solar flares is pretty much like an intense spot in the sun that can disrupt communications on Earth and technology on Earth. It's not loading. I've been having this issue where it's being blocked by force policy on the browser. Let's do this. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. But I think the security of the browser has something to do with it. I think I have to reset the browser or use internet. I mean, yeah, Microsoft Edge. You can also log out to let's see if we get the other API. So same thing. But yeah, that's pretty much my project. Let me try to get this to work real quick.
Awesome. Are you currently signed in, or did you already sign out?
So my project is about sort of like machine learning. It's not classically like the web dev stuff, so I did a little like couple things different, but basically I just wanted to have a page that I can display my machine learning projects and the things that I did to learn about different neural networks. So right now it's pretty bare bones. I was just, so here's the homepage. I just had some random description there. The login page right here, it slides out to the right and then you can sign in. Actually, before that, I wanted to, let's go here first. I'm going to put my other projects here later on when I expand on it. But for right now, essentially, this is just a HTML canvas that someone can draw on and basically put in numbers, and then I'll feed this image to my neural network to classify whether or not the number is, or whatever the number it believes it to be. So right now I have it set up so that if you click process image when you're not logged in, it won't let you do that. The way I did that was through, I just used the Django's pre-built user models, but I had something send a token to the front end. So as I'm signed in now, if you take a look at over here in local storage, I have a token generated by Django REST framework, and that essentially allows it to send something over to the backend. Future applications for that, it might be a little tricky as far as security because people can just access this token. So I might need to figure out a way to hash this so that it's only available to whoever is actually signed in. But that got a little bit complicated. Let's see. But yeah, so I created 3 different neural network models. One is just a simple feed forward neural network. One is a convolutional neural network. And then the other one is also a convolutional neural network, but I trained it differently so that it can recognize certain, I guess, shifts in where the number is set up. So like if you take a look here, I'll just draw like a 1, process the image, and it's going to predict the 1. It made a ping to my backend. But if you, for this particular model, if you have it like slightly off center, now it thinks it's a 3 because it's stupid. So now we can switch over to like a different model, right? So if you have, this one also does the same thing, it's a little bit better. So yeah, now it thinks it's a 4. But for the other one, if you do it this way, now it knows it's a 1, even though it's not like centered. So it's just, I was just experimenting with different ways to train the neural network model so it can classify these images. And the way these images go back is it's basically an array. So it's each pixel point gets based on the intensity of the white lines, gives it a number from 0 to 1. And that's getting passed, that information like from the array is getting passed into the neural network, and it classifies it based on that. Like it's a little complicated math wise, and I'm not sure that I'm good enough to explain it right now. But yeah, essentially that's what it's doing. And if you take a look to, hold on, let me just move this Zoom thing. If you go to my views, these are so this is how I did token, like to basically make sure that there's signed in to be able to even send requests here. But yeah, so it might be easier actually for, let me see, show this side of it. Okay, yeah, so basically this whole thing was kind of complicated as well. I had to create, I just did use effect to do a draw line function here. And if I comment this out, it was doing some weird thing where it does that. But if you comment this one out, now it's gonna, just getting it to do, like to act properly was a little, is a little weird. But yeah, I had to do 2 different draw line functions. And then that's just getting, let's see. So I had to resize it because my neural network was trained on a certain dimensions of the data set, and I had to, a 28 by 28 pixel on a web page is actually like really small. So I just made it, I believe I had 280 by 280, and then I just did a resize function here and redrew the canvas and then passed that in. So I just made an array and took all those values and turned it into a tensor. And then it's gonna go and send that tensor into the API endpoint, which is my backend. So I have my backend running on a different port. And essentially it's passing in the token that it has, and it's going to go and try to predict what that is. And that's the first part of my project. I wanted to go and do multiple number classifications, but it gets a little tricky because of the way the data is sent. So if you take a look down here on the bottom right, these are essentially probability distributions of what the number might be. And my first idea was to take like a box and just slide it over the image and get whatever the highest probability number it might be and start outputting it. But it becomes an issue because I don't know probability thresholds. So I was really stuck on this, like this is my reach goal, but I was really stuck on like the strategy for how to get multiple numbers in, but that's for sure in progress. And yeah, that's how my my app works for now. And I would love to answer questions if you have any.
This is great. This is awesome. Definitely something outside of what we teach there in the curriculum. So you said you had some prior experience with this. Did you self-teach yourself this information, or how did you go into acquiring the skills to be able to build this?
Yeah, so I actually found out about like machine learning stuff early into the cohort, and I thought it was really cool. So on my like free time, I would go and study machine learning. So on top of what we were learning in the class, I was just getting some reading done on this stuff.
Awesome. That's great. Did you do any side projects while you were learning about it as well?
Yeah, so my side project was getting my math skills enough to understand how this works under the hood, because it's like super simple when you see it on HT, like on the web page itself. But if you take a look, I can actually show you what it can't even, like it's an H5 file. So if you open this, this is essentially what a neural network model is. It's just a series of numbers and weights that each image is getting passed into. I can't even interpret what this means, but basically this model can just be deployed somewhere. If I were to deploy it, it would go and use compute credit from a virtual computer somewhere, and it would run each image that it's trying to classify using that trained data set. So like that's the only project I really had time to go into.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Does anybody else have any questions?
How long does it take to like train these models?
So it depends because, okay, so if I run this Py file that it's essentially how I built the model using TensorFlow and Keras. This should probably take like 10 minutes. The problem is getting it to do or to act the correct way, because it doesn't show error codes for when it's doing things wrong. So like I have 3 different neural network models that are improving on each other. And for the third one, the reason why I was able to train it so good is because I found out about this pre-processing module from Keras that lets me rotate, shift, and adjust the image that it is trained on, so it randomly changes it. So the answer to your question is kind of, it depends on how long it takes you to get it to work. But when you run this program, it should probably take like, my computer was able to train it like within 10-15 minutes, M1 Mac.
Cool, thanks.
That's great. Does anybody else have any other questions? All right, let's halt the record.